Om Namo Narayanaya. Please repeat after me. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpatyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Harihi Om. Suswagatam. We are studying a text, Sadachara. In the field of spiritual life, and when we take up a path of knowledge, what is the main important aspect which we must understand? The focus of knowledge, the path of Vedanta, is Atyantika Dukkha Nivrutti, Paramananda Prapti. That's the goal of the path of knowledge. Vedanta gives the direction towards this supreme achievement, Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti Paramananda Prapti. So, when we look at this goal, Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti, how is it possible that complete cessation of sorrow, complete annihilation of sorrow? How is it possible, this question, if it is asked? Then, there we must understand, unless and until the mind becomes completely pure, mind becomes completely pure, and it is now totally merged into the self, then alone it is possible. Otherwise, some impressions of the mind will keep bringing us sorrow from either the past or sometimes of future which is not there, and sometimes from the present situation too. So this sort of graph, up and down, keep coming in the life of seeker. And therefore, purity of the mind is the goal of seeker to reach to the highest pinnacle of the path of knowledge. Purity of the mind. This purity of the mind is very subtle. Very subtle. How to know? Observe your own mind. How it gets disturbed by very simple thing which has no meaning actually. But this we come to know after some time. Having got disturbed, then we reflect, oh, this was not actually a matter to get disturbed. But at that moment, that mind gets totally carried away by that thought. Think. So, this awareness has to be there, that let my mind not get disturbed by such pinpricks of life. And the important aspect, as we have now understood, is purity. 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 And therefore Sadachara. To gain that purity, that process to reach to the highest purity is Sadachara. So, in Sadachara, we have reached to verse number 12. Let us chant the verse number 12. Atmani svaprakashagnau chittamekahutim kshipe Agnihotri savidneyah itara namadharaka. So sometimes people have this strange thought. What is that? why the path of knowledge does not give us any support other than the knowledge itself. So it is said here, Atmani Svaprakashagnau Chittameka Hutikshipet. One should offer as an oblation. So if an example is taken of a havan, where we offer the oblations, in this path of knowledge, what is an oblation? So he says, one should offer our own chittam, that is your mind. Eka ahuti, a single oblation. Atmani. Where? Atmani, in the self. And how is it possible? It is only possible when a mind is extremely one-pointed. Extremely one-pointed, then only it is possible. Example of extreme one-pointedness is that whenever you look at movie of your choice, then our mind start acting as what is shown on the screen. If the screen movie is showing something called as tragic scene, automatically it takes that turn. And if there is a happy scene, then it takes that turn. Why? It is totally connected. Totally. One-pointed, absolute. There is no other thought in the mind at all. Similarly, a seeker has to develop such a great concentration, which is called as Akhanda Brahmakara Vritti. What is this? Akhanda Brahmakara Vritti. Only one and one thought. What is that? Aham Brahmasmi. Here, many seekers have a difficulty where they sometimes tend to take a support of some japa or something which is called as a shloka or the verse of Bhagawad Gita or the mantra of Upanishad and try to keep the mind focused. It is fine, but it is not that stage which is called as total concentration, one-pointedness. So therefore the meditation helps a seeker to reach to this one-pointedness which is Aham Brahmasmi, Akhanda Brahmakara Vritti. Now, think about our life. In 24 hours, how much we are connected to the world and worldly things? And how much time we devote it to our study? So, the picture is clear to all of us. Most of the time is dedicated to worldly things and a very short time is dedicated to the scriptural study. So, the effect of worldly thing is more on our mind. So, definitely it reaches for some fraction of moments to that level of concentration, but it doesn't stay there. It is because of the impressions of our worldly actions, which we do it with doership. So here, therefore, it is mentioned that one should able to pinpointly focused on one and one alone. What is that? That Atma Tattva. And the rest, it is said, it is all namesake only, because people keep taking different sort of supports and getting distracted. Having said so, let us enter into the verse number 1313. Deho devalaya proktaha Dehi devo niranjanaha Archita sarva bhavena Svanubhutya virajate. Together. Deho devalaya A very beautiful metaphor is now taken up or given here. It is said, Deha Prokta Devalayaha. This body is said to be the temple. Dehi means one who owns this body, the controller of the body. Dehi, how he is? Now it is explained, Niranjana. Dehi is pure, absolutely untainted. It is Devaha, the Lord Himself. Archita Sarva Bhavena. Then when we develop this attitude of worship with full devotion, Virajate Swa Anubhutya, then that Deva, the Lord, inside completely shines by that experience of oneness with the self. How beautiful example is taken up. So let us think about it. First, when it is said this Deha, that is the body, is Devalaya, is temple itself. So first point, when it is a temple, then how should I keep it? Ask the question. How should I keep it? So this is the first point, that if that I understand as a temple, then I will keep it first clean, and top of it, I will give the most importance to remain it pure. So I will not put anything inside that which is impure. See? So how we put inside things, not only through food, but through all our sense organs. So what are the most effective two sense organs? Eyes and ears. These are two great effective. So what you see and what you listen has a terrific effect on the subconscious level of the mind. This you have to note. Subconscious level. I'll give an example. When children, they see cartoon films for a long time and they sleep. In the night, they talk about that only characters of the cartoon films. Why? It is gone into that subconscious mind. So therefore, one has to be very clear. It is said in Mahabharata that when Arjuna is to sleep, from his every pore, there used to be a sound, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Even in his sleep. Can you imagine? This subconscious mind works miraculously. But to reach to that subconscious mind, that much of depth should be there in our interest about that field. How many people say that I just got it when I was dreaming? What? A note for some beautiful song, or for some poem, or some great idea, something like that. So, this thought one has to be very clear. How much I think and how deep I think. And that is reflection. The reflection should be really deep into the core of the mind. And one has to give good sufficient time for the reflection. Then this mind gives up that which is called as dirt. So all that which is called as doubts gets clear in the reflection, called as mananam. Whatever doubts about the things which you have heard. So this is deha. Dehi devo niranjana. So that dehi. So there should be a complete distinction between the deha and dehi. There is someone who is other than this body sitting in this body. No, oh my dear body. This is very important. Not knowing this or not actually recognizing this, even though you know, but we don't recognize, it's there, it's there. Example, Bhagavan says in the 15th chapter, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. Who will complete? Good. Bhagavan says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha. I, as Vaishvanara Agni, sitting in everyone's stomach. Pachamyannam chaturvidam. And I only digest all the food which you put in your stomach. Just imagine now. Think of a havan. Can you put anything that which is called as not pure thing in the havan? Now, how can you put something which is called as dead into your stomach, which is an havan, where Bhagavan is there? This is called as insensitiveness. Insensitive, completely. See how people get completely carried away by something which is called as impure, meaningless thing. Just a thought came to my mind, something. I was in Goa. So, I went to a bhiksha in someone's house. That person was a ardent devotee of Puja Gurudev. So the point came, as Goa is a city of eating continuous different things. So that person told, first time when I went to Puja Gurudev's yajna, he said, do you know what mistake you all are doing? He said, you are putting dead carcasses in your stomach and telling the Lord to digest it. How insensitive you all are. He said, that day I left it. That day, that time. Dead carcasses. See, Gurudev. But we are so much attached to our taste that we get carried away by it. Right? So one has to be very clear. What is called as insensitiveness? Please understand this point. If there is a demand, there is a supply. Yes or no? When demand of such so-called as non-veg is there, then only people will kill the animal, no? If there is no demand, who will kill? That means I am one who is creating a demand. I am one of the factor in creating the demand. Please note it. Okay, so this is how Deha, Devalayaha. This is a temple. And Dehi Niranjanaha. It is absolutely pure. Absolutely pure. And therefore, how one should have a bhava? Whatever I offer, it should be with devotion. So with devotion, when I offer something, it has to be sattvic, pure. And then that Dehi itself is expressing its own nature. What is its nature? Sadaiva Ananda. Just imagine. It is that which expresses through yourself. Sadaiva Ananda. Just imagine. Only we have to maintain the purity, and that's all. Your job is done. Then itself shines forth. What a beautiful message is given. That our job is to maintain the purity of it. And then you do not have to do anything. But that joy, that fullness, that completeness, that sort of whole, pure, supreme peace is experienced automatically. So, that is a sadhana, we should take it up. That let us be very careful, sensitive towards our offering. Where? In this temple. Let us be very careful. Om Namo Narayanaya.